Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, sir.
How are you? A little sniffly?
Uh, I'm a little under the weather, actually, uh, but I got to get this over. Like, I just have a cold or whatever, but this has got to end because in a week I'm getting on a plane and heading to Atlantic City. So let's get this out of me, whatever
If
it
you
is.
had if you had like the flu, would that stop you from getting on the plane to go to the national?
No,
If you had that vicious, horrible virus that's going around, would it stop you?
it'd have to, wouldn't it? I mean,
No, they don't check you.
that's true.
How about that for a first
Talk
question?
about controversial topic. Uh,
Your hesitation says everything I need to know.
I choose
All right.
not to answer that.
All right.
Um,
All right. I love it. Yeah, well, I got a couple sick kids. I feel like I have a couple six kids as well. And
you
May's
do
out of
have
town this
six
week,
kids
so it's been quite the challenge.
and no wife.
Yeah, right. She's out of town.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but it's good. Um, well, hey, first off, let's start off with the home run derby last night. Did you watch it?
I did.
Did you love it?
I did. But I like the event, period. I don't know. I kind of like the timed format because used to, they could take so many pitches and it just it still takes forever.
Right.
Um, I actually think they could lower the amount of time and
Agreed.
it still be good. It doesn't need to be 3 minutes each round and all that. Plus, I think the guys, I mean, did you see how tired Pujols was? I mean, he looked like he was
Yeah.
about to die.
Yeah, that was brutal. I totally agree. I think, you go 2 minutes per round.
Yeah.
Or even like or even add some elements of like throw some colored juice balls in there and they're
Yeah.
worth double or something like if you're going to shorten the time.
Well, they used to have the Century 21 bonus ball, the last, if you got 9 outs, because it used to be a 10 out thing.
Yeah.
Some people watching may not know how the home run derby used to work. Hopefully you do, but they used to get 10 outs and they could take as many pitches as they wanted. I went back and watched the Josh Hamilton 2008 home run derby because I did that a few days ago, which is what sparked a video that I did about all-star games and do they matter on Baseball Collector channel. Because that's what watching that got me into being like I went immediately and bought a Josh Hamilton all-star jersey. Like that night, I was like, okay, he's my guy. This guy hits the ball so far and he hits so
Yeah.
many home runs. And so it can be one of those events that if you take it for what it is, which is just an entertainment, thing, it certainly fulfills that. You get to see the greatest sluggers in the game by and large, not all of them because they
Yeah.
can't all do it. But I tell you, I would love to have Pete Alonso on my softball team. Like that dude just feels like one of those guys that when he's 60, he's out mashing bombs
Oh
on the
yeah.
softball field.
Oh
What'd
yeah.
you think of the Derby?
Well, I mean, to your point, it's like a good majority of the United States found out about Julio Rodriguez last night,
Right.
you know, and there's probably collectors that are like clamoring to go get rookie cards because of the home run derby. And even my boys were like, man, I didn't realize he was that good. And we live up here near Seattle, right?
Right.
Like it showed me last night the importance of getting rookies and young guys in there and wrapping in like a pool. So I think that was really cool. Like wrap in a guy that's retiring and just even if you expand the field a couple and get more young guys in there with some, stars, I think it's just great
I
for the
mean,
game.
think about the field. You had Julio Rodriguez, great, promising rookie. You had Acuna and Soto, right? From that next group.
Yep.
You had kind of some old time mashers, Alonso and Schwarber. You had Seager.
Ramirez. Yep.
Who else?
Ramirez. I could say
Yeah,
an old time.
Ramirez. Then
Yep.
you had Seager, who was there, kind of a returning home kind of guy who actually did really well. The sad thing is he was going against Julio Rodriguez in the
Yep.
first round. And then you had the old statesman, Albert Pujols. So it was a great field of guys, like a diverse group of players.
Yep.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's fun. On Alonzo though, me and the boys were just like, gosh, we don't want him to win. It's like, because it's almost like it's business for him.
Right.
He's over there like meditating, and whatever the announcer's like, he's in a trance. He comes out, he's just like astute. It's like Julio Rodriguez is up there just having a blast. He doesn't even care. It's like, I don't want Alonso to win again.
I did like seeing Soto win.
Yeah.
So does that do anything for Soto's hobby love? I would say no, but it's just cool.
I'd agree. I mean, last night's hobby love was double down on Julio Rodriguez. That was my takeaway. Like, this guy's a ridiculously good talent.
Yeah, 21 years old too.
Soto, we knew that, right?
Right.
Yeah. But you're right. Seager had a great first round. Totally got shanned because of who he was matched up against. What did he hit? 22 or 23?
24, maybe.
I mean, my goodness.
That would have
made the next round matched up against anybody else.
Right. And he had his dad. I love the stories of who's throwing to him, why they're connected to that person. There's just a lot of stuff to enjoy. You get to see the players just hackling when they all surrounded pool holes after his first round. Yeah, that was cool. I mean, it's meant to be entertaining, and baseball by and large needs a lot of help in the provide entertainment category.
Sure.
They need that, and that's a good chance for that.
Like the last 30 seconds where it's close and you feel the pressure. I know they put a lot of pressure on the batter, but the pitcher in that moment is feeling the pressure of throwing strikes and pitches where that batter needs to hit it.
No doubt.
Underrated. I want cards of those pitchers.
Right. Tops Now cards.
Tops Now. Yeah, it's coming.
All right, what else?
All right, so I'm going to show you the top 10 sales real quick. We haven't done this in a while, but I popped it up today just because I was curious.
All right, let me get my old man reader on.
Get your squint.
Messy.
I included some comics just to show you where they sit in card value range. Number one's the Messi. You got 1, 2, 3 comics in the top 10.
Okay, that's ironic. Look at the next to last card. It's the Gehrig 34 Gaudy. Look what shirt I'm wearing.
Well, we can't see it right now, but yeah. Which one of those is most intriguing to you? The comics are most intriguing to me, but I mean, I'm also intrigued by the 9.5 Jordan that's down to $38,000.
Right. I would, if I had to take any of these cards, I'd take the Gaudy Gehrig.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of money. Can't believe the Jackie's that high still.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, is that high? A 5 of that?
Yeah, that feels
52 Jackie
high. I mean, it's the second most expensive. Well, I don't know, in that grade. Yeah, I mean, the Mantle's higher. The Eddie Matthews is lower, probably in that grade. That's just an expensive card. It's surprisingly expensive. It's not like it's a rookie or anything like that. But
yeah, well, the 34 Gaudy in a PSA 6 is like, my gosh.
Yeah,
sign me up.
Very cool.
Yeah. So a question for you, because I was thinking about this earlier, and it's starting to really annoy me. But when you look at the hobby right now, I feel like you're starting to see some very clear trends taking place. And one of them is this idea that if it's, especially with modern cars, specifically with modern and semi-modern, if it's not a PSA 10, it's not any good. I feel like, and I've seen this with my sales a lot recently, where, you can have a PSA 8 or 9 of a really good rookie card, and it's getting pennies on the dollar versus what it was getting even 6 months ago, especially a year ago. I mean, I get it, inflated prices, but do you feel like the hobby has been watered down / ruined by just the insane amount of graded cards out there now, specifically in relation to like a 9/8 versus a gem mint?
And you're talking about modern, ultra modern, because I think it's a different story for vintage.
It is a different story, but I mean, even you look back at like a Henderson rookie, you know, or an Ozzie Smith rookie, and you get a PSA 7 of that and 8 of that versus a 9 or 10 of that, the gap is so wide.
Sure.
It's unbelievable. But do you think we'll ever close the gap again? Or are we ruined in the sense that we're so spoiled now that we have to have perfection, and the rest is just worthless?
Well, the idea you're talking about what the hobby thinks and what I think. I think they're two different things.
Okay. Or are they?
So I've seen, especially on the vintage side, a lot more gravitation towards raw. Like people are kind of going back and just going, I don't need a graded one. I'll take a raw card. And that's interesting to me. I don't feel that way. I still want them graded, and it's not because of the numerical grade that's on the card. It's the encapsulation, the protection, the registry. There are other reasons to buy a graded card other than the number that's on it on the flip, right? And then on modern, ultra modern, I think that it's all about, there's just so many of them. The pop reports, there's just so many 10s in any given card in the modern, ultra modern world that you don't need to settle for a 9 or an 8. What sucks about that is that the hobby just poo-poos all of it, even though a 9 is still it says mint on the card. A 8 is a near mint to mint, which is kind of the standard condition that you expect a card to be in, is near mint to mint, right? No one ever expects a gem mint card. People do, and that's silly. When they pull a card out of a pack, they expect it to be gem mint. That's irrational exuberance, I think, to hope for that. The reality is cards are near mint to mint. That's the default. Better is unusual. Worse is unusual, right? Not unheard of, but yeah, I mean, I just think there's so much of it now, and it's only going to get, I mean, it's not like PSA stopped, like we've stopped the presses, we're done grading cards or SGC or CSG or any of them. There's just going to be more and more in the market, which is devaluing every other grade but a 10 in
Right.
the hobby. Personally, I'll buy 9s all day then. Like if they're going for pennies on the dollar, I'll do that all day as a collector.
For modern stuff, you would too?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. Like I have a Doncic Luka rookie in a 9, perfectly happy with it. So yes,
Okay.
totally in modern.
Yeah. So is it fair to say, do you think right now the gap's so wide that it presents an opportunity, or do you feel like that gap never closes?
I think if it's not necessarily an opportunity if you're a flipper investor dude, but if you're a collector, the opportunity is to pick up some really nice cards in really high grade, really cheap. To me, that's a win. And I'm not talking about Gem Mint 10. I'm talking about everything else that's getting dumpster fired on, like, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, a year ago, the talking heads were very persistent in saying, "Hey, the opportunity is picking up PSA 9s because the 10s are so crazy expensive. The 9s will eventually come, follow the 10s," which obviously hasn't happened. I'm with you though. Like from a collecting standpoint, there's no reason to stress out over a 9 versus a 10. If you're holding to appreciate value, then maybe question yourself a little bit and say, is it worth just ponying up the money for the 10? But yeah, if you're just throwing it in your collection. But I do think it's very unfortunate. I think it's very frustrating that we've become so used to perfection that if it's not gym mint perfect, then it has no value. Like that mentality, it just frustrates me. And I don't think necessarily it's created an opportunity yet, but because because for as many 10s as there are, there's 3 times as many 9s, right? It's not like there's less 9s. There's a ton of 9s. There's stacks and stacks of 9s. There'd be a really good opportunity for a repack product, of only 9s, like the top 9s of every possible card.
Right.
Cool product, actually. And you could probably get in pretty cheap to create it.
But what does this say if this all is happening? And I agree with you that it is. What does this say about the hobby in general? Like where the hobby's at?
Yeah.
Is it positive or negative for the hobby?
I think it's negative. I think it's negative because this to me shows that we've taken a very clear shift away from collecting to investing. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, and maybe the reality is 10s are 10s and they get a premium and they get a massive premium.
Yeah, I mean, obviously money and greed are in the hobby now. They were in the hobby a year ago, 2 years ago, and they were 15 years ago. Like it's not like that has never existed or is a new concept. But I do think that, again, as if you're a collector and kind of a long-term person in the hobby that just loves the hobby and loves owning cool cards, I would look at it as great. I can buy that stuff cheaper. Like I'll be looking for some, like I need a Goldschmidt rookie, for example. And I'll be looking for a 9. I don't need a 10. The 10s are 4x what a 9 is. And I just want a Goldie rookie. Like I don't care about, you know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
and we all know, like the real truth is put a 9 and a 10 next to each other, show me the difference. And I'll be like, good luck with that.
Right.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
9s are great cards. And I don't know why it's just that segment of the hobby usually is the one yelling the loudest, right? The collector side of the hobby is very under the radar because we don't usually stand up and shout from the rooftops how we are, and we're always going to be there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Ty's got a kid coming in and, hey, Dad.
Yeah. It'll be a constant flow the next 15 minutes. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I mean, I think that's good. I think it's good advice for somebody watching saying, hey, I do want to kind of jump in now. I want to reallocate some money to the hobby. Best bang for your buck right now, no doubt, is going in after PSA 8s and 9s of modern stuff. I mean, you can get in dirt cheap for stuff.
Yeah, I'll tell you the sneak preview on John Wade Boggs fans channel. We're shooting tonight a follow-up to our vintage 100 index, you know, kind of the next, we did an introduction and all that here on this, on Golden Age of Cardboard. And then every month we're going to kind of do where are we at today? And so we looked at the data last night. It's fascinating how little the vintage market is moving down. I mean, it's down 1% over the last month. Year to date, pretty much unchanged. So you see the old story of vintage, right? It spiked during it spiked later than modern, right? Back in March, April of 2021, and came back down, but was at a higher new base level, and now it's kind of floating along there. So I think, you know, again, I told you people are gravitating more towards raw vintage, but I think, and maybe you can throw in your 2 cents on this, I think part of that is because they've been forced to. The graded vintage has all been bought up, and because of the high cost of grading over the last year, now it's kind of coming back to normal a little bit. But the reality is, there's just more raw available. People aren't grading stuff anymore because it's too expensive. You think that forces people to go raw more than they would otherwise?
I think it did for sure. I think it did. I mean, grading prices have come back down considerably. They're back in that same realm now. So,
did you see any videos from the Nashville show, by the way?
No, I didn't. I read some stuff on it though. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it was crazy busy. There was a Dallas show here last weekend. I didn't go to it.
Yeah.
But I saw a video, like I saw Ryan Nolan did a video from the Nashville show, and it was great. He was scanning a lot of booths.
Yeah.
I saw so many vintage SGC slabs, tons and tons of them, which made me go, crap, I may have to, you know, reevaluate buying SGC slabs if they're A, more plentiful, and B, lower price, and C, probably more accurately graded, honestly, if you on a vintage.
Well, that's the big one right there, right? If you feel like they're more accurately graded, that's for you to say that. I mean, I think a lot of people think that too, but being more plentiful, why would that change? Just because you have more opportunities to buy now?
Correct. I mean, higher supply equals lower prices, period. Like that's basic economics, supply demand curve, right? More supply, lower price. So that's good for me as a collector who's just wanting to buy a nice example of the card. The reality is, as much as I'm addicted to the registries on the PSA side, and I do, and it's really like I like everything to look the same.
Yeah.
That's another big thing, which is really weird and I know silly probably to a lot of
You'd
people.
be a great character in the Lego movie.
Right. By the way, there's a Lego Star Wars show coming out, like a movie / show on Disney Plus, like in the fall or something. Sorry, that's you brought up Lego, so I saw a trailer for it, and I'm a big Lego Star Wars guy. You got me all distracted. So I guess I'm saying at the National next week, I really might be way more open to getting some SGC slabs. I mean, the big card that I want is a Satchel Paige rookie 49 Bowman.
Yeah.
And that might be a SGC pickup, honestly. If I can,
Wow.
If I find SGCs that are way less expensive and super nice, then I kind of go, why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be on the registry, but I keep my own checklists anyway. You know, it's not like I wouldn't know that I had that card if I didn't put it on the registry. So I'm having this internal battle, so to speak, of what matters more, having the card or having the card in the right holder.
It was fun watching you kind of battle that out live with us here on the show.
Right.
Entering inside of Mike Moynihan's mind.
It's a dark, dark place.
Circular argument.
Right.
It's like a dog chasing its tail.
But I'm wondering if the hobby's starting to feel that too. Like if it's not just me. It might be just me.
No, I think it is feeling that way for sure. Like I mean, shoot, Coeur d'Alene show that I hosted up here with another guy. I sensed it. There was a ton of SGC slabs, and I sold more SGC slabs than I did PSA slabs. The people that are in the know, that are educated in the hobby, are getting to the point where they do not care when it comes down to PSA, SGC, maybe even BGS a little bit. But I mean, the fact that we're only talking about 2 right now says everything people need to know. Like, it's a 2-player game right now in my book.
Yeah.
Vintage wise, modern wise, maybe add in a couple more players, but that was a consistent theme when I was a dealer up there. It's like, can you make a deal on this SGC slab? Can you make a deal on this SGC slab? I'm thinking, man, I gotta double down even more on SGC because people are actually asking for it. This is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely gaining market share. They're getting cards back really quick. They're running an efficient operation. I mean, that's good for SGC. And
but to your point, it's because there's a lot of supply out there now.
Right.
It's just out there. People see it all the time, and it's become second nature for them to think, you know what? I got a couple SGC slabs already. Why not add 3 or 4 more? Like they're investing in it. They're feeling it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I picked up a few, so I'm like, why not pick up a few more? You know? Yeah. What do you got this week? Anything else we want to talk about, by the way?
Yeah, well, I got another piece of information here for you. I want you to digest. Okay, so Panini sent this email out to everybody yesterday. And side note, I'll put this down real quick. So I was on the Panini. I was out at Panini headquarters last week. Interview with Jeff regarding chasing cardboard, and it was a great show. I'll put the link in the show notes. It's on Panini's website, Panini's YouTube channel. He posted on social media, and he warned me this would happen. He posted on social media, and all you see, it's not like, oh, great conversation, this is good. It's like 50 comments below that post of the interview with Ty chasing cardboard about Stop talking about anything but taking care of my redemption. Where are my redemptions? Redemptions, redemptions, redemptions. It's Twitter. You're going to get that. But it was pretty funny to see, like, just this. I mean, immediately you post it, you see all these tweets about their redemptions, nothing to do about the show. So anyway, Panini puts out this information yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday. Starting September 30, it will begin sending replacement cards to the customers holding redemptions for what it's calling low to mid-level value players. Open before 2018. They're going to continue to move this up to try to clear the backlog. The company promised to be sending to customers would be of equal or greater value than the redemption Panini wasn't able to fulfill. What constitutes a low to mid-level value will be decided by the company. At the current time, and you're not able to get points. The new initiative does not impact high-value redemptions. And then it goes on to talk about the frustrations. So first off, immediate reaction to that. I mean, I have some thoughts on this.
I hate redemptions.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I don't like opening modern stuff is the chance of getting a redemption.
Yep.
And put that graphic back up at the bottom. It's funny. Redemption cards have been a source of frustration for both dealers and card manufacturers for years. Card companies depend on players to sign their autographs and return cards on time for pack out, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes the player never signs at all. Okay. Collectors who hold redemptions are aggravated. Yeah, no kidding. But if the player doesn't sign their cards, don't pay them. Like, I don't understand. Do they get paid, in advance and then they send them the cards? Like, I don't know how the system works. So I don't know if there's maybe a problem with the system.
Yeah.
And I wish I knew more about that, or I don't understand, if you don't get the pack or the cards back in a certain time, take them off the checklist. But then if you do that, then it looks less attractive as a product and they're not going to sell it. So would you rather have more? I just answered my own question. Of course, they'd rather have more sales than just a few pissed off people at redemptions. They don't really care. Maybe that means they don't care. Yeah.
This is Mike chasing his tail again.
Hey, you're into the mind. I'm just kind of going on fumes right now. You share your thoughts and I'll shut up.
So here's my thing with this. First off, okay, good. Clear the backlog. Do what you got to do. I understand that. That makes business sense. But what annoys me the most about this is this whole we will assign an arbitrary value on these redemptions. Because what happens, so for instance, I have a Illusions Trevor Lawrence Justin Fields dual patch auto. I'm waiting for redemption on. It's number 20. It's a legit card.
Right.
3 years from now, that card could be $50. Right now, it's probably $500. And this is the problem that so many of these people that are waiting on redemptions is that when it came out, when they got that redemption, it was valuable. Sometimes it goes up, but most of the time it goes down. I am so sick of 3 years later, Panini saying, well, the market value for that card is this, and here you go. It's like, well, no. The market value when I got the card was this. So I think an easy solution for Panini is when you get the card and you submit a redemption, they should immediately assign the market value. It should be redemption submitted in this day. Here's the market value when you submitted it. And I don't care, pull Beckett's site or go to last eBay. You have all kinds of analytics platforms now, right? Go partner with one of them and grab it. And I think you probably reduce the frustrations by 90% on people waiting on redemptions because they know that they're going to get comped a fair value for the card. And if someone goes out and buys a cheap redemption 2 years later, when they redeem it and it's still valuable or they still can redeem it, it's assigned a different value. Like it's that simple. Yeah. That should be the easy solution to take care of all this. You like that?
I do like that. That seems easy. Do you think they care that much? I don't know. That you're just pissing your customers off. And I don't understand why that's good business no matter what. They are not bulletproof. They are not, where their reputation can be damaged so much where people go, screw it. Now, unfortunately, our hobby has a long history of short memories, right? we have given people passes on every scandalous, underhanded move that the hobby has made. It's like we just forget that all that happened.
Yeah.
I still have never bought, since PWCC stuff, I've never bought a PWCC card since.
Yeah.
Well, if you weren't around then, you don't know any different. Right. And so it just doesn't affect people. This will, Panini's like, well, this will blow over probably. Yeah. People have such short memories. That's what irks me the most. Is people don't just stand up and go, I'm not buying this crap anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I was just thinking about this. So you talked about how they should pull autos or pull redemptions from the product before release. What do you think if Panini said at release day, Panini, Prism Football comes out and they say 72% of the autos are filled and live in the product, and gave us an actual percentage at release day, if that would change the perception on Panini being transparent? That'd be really cool,
Yeah.
Hey, unfortunately, this one's been crappy. We're down to like 35% on the redemption rate. This one, like, just FYI, general public, we'll do our best to fulfill them. Like, if you something as simple as that, it might affect sales, but you know what? Like, the customer service, the satisfaction will probably repay Panini on the back end more than the loss in sales.
And that to me, not just Panini, but I think PSA and Panini, all of the hobby, they don't think long term. I think SGC actually is, which sounds like we're doing an SGC commercial, but the reality is, you call a spade, and I don't think the hobby companies, manufacturers, etc., think long term. I don't. If you like you said, if Panini did that, provided more transparency, it might provide more cred down the road, and they make more sales than pissing off a lot of people now and losing those customers forever. Wouldn't you rather build a base of loyal customers? To me, that makes more sense.
Heck yeah.
If PSA was transparent about everything, here's how many cards we have in the backlog, here's how long it's taken us, here's this, that, and the other. If they gave us those statistics, at least we would understand better.
Yeah. Agreed. Mike, we just solved Panini's redemption problem.
Well, hopefully Jeff, and who's the CEO of Panini? I don't know.
Bob Panini.
Bob Panini. Well, I hope Bob watches this video, because we just gave him a whole lot of good way. Well, you did mostly. I provided circular arguments, which apparently might be the route to go, but you just get on the merry-go-round with Mike. All right. Well, what do you got this week coming up?
Well, Tyson's got a good one tomorrow.
Okay.
FYI, he's got a really good Prism Football analytics video.
Awesome.
That I've been made privy of, so I can't wait for that to come out. That's tomorrow. You have it on the, not on the flight, Golden Age on Thursday, right?
Actually, I'm not doing Golden Age this week or next week. I'm taking a couple of weeks. I know.
What?
But the one last week was, I thought, great with Craig.
It was great. Absolutely great.
Go
check it out. Dealer's perspective on the national was really good insight.
Use this time of no new Golden Ages to maybe go back into the Golden Age archives and watch some old ones that maybe you never caught. They're timeless. They never go out of style. It's vintage. So it's not like, the flavor of the month on modern stuff. So
you might age a lot, but your podcast doesn't.
I like that. That should be my new tagline on it.
There you go.
I do.
I got to ask you this. Gene pool, and somebody who does age quite frequently.
All right, I got to ask you this. This is a so I gave Craig an idea, and I haven't asked you about this. I wanted you to think about it. At the national, guys, dealers have cards, business cards, right? And what I told Craig is, you have your business card. I don't have his right in front of me, but I have this dude's right here. William, I don't know who William's sports memorabilia is, but you have that. And then on the back, his happens to be blank, but most of them are multicolored. What if you put lines on there so that because if you're at a table, you're like, oh, I liked that card, you can write down what card it is, have their booth number there, their business card.
Genius.
Wouldn't that be smart?
Genius.
You should do that for the bench clear cards for the.
Come back. We don't have cards, but come back. This is the episode you like the most.
And you could put where you can sign it when they get it from you. Like they want Ty Wilson's signature, you know.
Okay. All right. On
Add
that
to their
note.
collection. All right.
Cool, man. Well, have a good week. Hope you feel better.
Thanks. I'll talk to you later.
All right. See you.
See you guys.